Welcome to the Live Free, Love Life podcast, where we discuss how to create more freedom so we can love our lives no matter what we're going through. Hello, my friends. Welcome to today's episode of Live Free, Love Life. Today, we're going to be talking about how to get along with your teenager. And I'm going to give you my top 5 tips that I have found to be the most useful. So here is something that you must know about me. If we run into each other out in public somewhere and you ask how I'm doing, the answer is not going to be fine or okay or good. If you ask me this question, I will actually tell you how I'm doing, whether you want to know or not. And on many occasions, when somebody has asked me this question, these are the words that I've heard come out of my mouth. I was not made to be a mom of teenagers. I have loved being a mom to babies and children. Teenagers, not so much. It is just not my favorite thing. Now, luckily for you, that means my struggles can be your easy wins. Another thing you must know about me is that I love musicals. I love them. And if you haven't seen Dear Evan Hansen, you absolutely must. The music is fabulous. And in that musical, I wish I could play this for you, but there's copyright and all those things. So one of the moms sings a song and she is a teenager, if you haven't seen it. And these are the words to this part of the song. Does anybody have a map? Anybody maybe happen to know how the hell to do this? I don't know if you can tell, but this is me just pretending to know. So where's the map? I need a clue, because the scary truth is I'm flying blind and making this up as I go. So today, I'm going to give you a map to a great relationship with your teenager. Now, I am still just like the mom in the musical. I made it up, but I created it through a lot of struggle, a lot of trial and error, and a lot of hard lessons learned. And I have a much, much, much better relationship with my teenagers because I have followed this map. So before we get there, let us discuss why this is so important. When parent-teen relationships are filled with constant battles and tension, both sides feel trapped and restricted. And we know this podcast is all about freedom, which is the opposite of trapped and restricted. For moms, the heavy burden of trying to control and micromanage a defiant teen can take over your life. Days are spent arguing over homework and chores, monitoring activities, and dealing with discipline issues. Anger and resentment brew under the surface, destroying the mother-child bond that used to be a source of joy. As a mom, this loss of freedom is exhausting. You no longer have time for yourself as your teen consumes your mental and emotional energy. Does this sound familiar to anyone? Self-care falls by the wayside, leaving you depleted and operating on empty. Your relationship with your spouse and friends suffer without relief from the daily grind of teen strife. Except for you other divorced moms like me, I do actually get a break when they go to their dads, and I have to tell you, it's amazing. So for those of you who don't get a break, I totally get it. It's hard because your teen is there all the time. And with a recalcitrant teen, you don't get to fully enjoy motherhood's rewards of seeing your child grow into a thriving young adult. Alternatively, when you and your teen learn to communicate and coexist peacefully, freedom is restored for both sides. With less daily drama, you open up time for self-care like exercise, hobbies, and socializing with friends. Your mental space, and this is the most important part, at least for me, your mental space is freed up to focus on anything you want to focus on, whether that's your marriage, your career, your other children, whatever. Instead of being stuck micromanaging your teen, you can step back and allow them to make their own choices and mistakes. Most importantly, a thawed relationship means enjoying your teen's journey to adulthood. The rides to practice turn into conversations where you gain insight into their budding beliefs. Outings become opportunities for memory making rather than headaches to endure. You become a trusted confidant instead of an enemy. And you experience the joy and pride of watching your son or daughter grow into a capable young person ready to take on the world. This newfound freedom in your relationship allows you to rediscover the mother you want to be, relaxed, happy, fulfilled, and thriving in all areas of life. Your teen also benefits from the space to grow without constant conflict. So, if we put in the effort to communicate, compromise, and reconnect, the payoff for both of you will be immeasurable. And now I know what you're thinking. Okay, that sounds great, Mindy. But how do I do that when my teen is so difficult to deal with? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Let's talk about it. So here is the map. These are my top 5 tips for getting along with your teen. Tip number 1, zip it. Stop talking and listen. When you do talk, let whatever comes out of your mouth be a curious question, not a judgmental one, or validation. And give your opinion by invitation only. Now look, I get the desire to give advice. We moms strongly believe in helping our kids become responsible adults that people want to be around. But if they didn't ask for your opinion, they aren't going to listen to it anyway. And in many cases, they will be more inclined to do the opposite. It does not achieve what you think it will achieve, and it often hurts the relationship. So let me give you an example. Your teen says words about something that happened at school. And here is your words, or something like it. That sounds hard. What do you think you're going to do? Validation, curious question. No advice, no lectures, no teaching. The more I have adopted this with my teens, the better our relationship is. And it doesn't have the negative consequences that our brain likes to make up, like they're just going to run wild and be crazy and uncivilized. No, none of that has happened. The more I keep my mouth shut, the better my relationship is with them. And it's not having a negative consequence because I'm not giving advice. Because the truth is, teenagers don't love our advice and they're not listening to it anyway. So whether we're saying it or not, it doesn't really make much of a difference as far as what they're doing. Now, as far as the relationship goes, it does. So tip number 1, zip it. Just zip it. I know it's hard. There are times when I'm having a whole conversation in my head, like, don't talk, Mindy. Just keep your mouth shut. It's okay. Just listen. They don't need to hear that. I'm talking back to my brain while my brain is offering all the things that I want to say to my kids. The more I zip it, the better our relationship is. Tip number 2, repeat, this is developmentally appropriate on the regular. Use this phrase or a phrase like it. You can change the words if that doesn't feel like something you would say as your new favorite phrase. Repeat it to yourself every single time your teen does something that you have negative thoughts or feelings about. It is normal for teens to pull away from their parents and seek more independence. However, the combination of puberty and brain development makes emotions run high. So let's talk about what's happening developmentally so that when you say to yourself, this is developmentally appropriate, you actually believe it and it means something. So the teen brain. During adolescence, the prefrontal cortex of the brain goes through major changes. This is the area responsible for judgment, planning, and impulse control. At the same time, the limbic system, which controls emotions, is kicking into overdrive due to puberty and new social pressures. This imbalance explains some typical teen behaviors like increased conflict with parents, poor decision-making, heightened emotions and moodiness, impulsiveness, and risk-taking. Based on adolescent brain development, issues in certain areas are pretty much inevitable. Knowing which issues to expect can help minimize conflicts because you'll be able to get into problem-solving mode instead of wasting a lot of time arguing with reality, thinking that these things shouldn't be a problem. Here are some common sources of disagreements: curfews, friends, technology use, privacy, rules, school or activities, arguing. As a mom, understanding that your teen can't always control their emotions or make good choices due to brain development, it can help you respond with patience and compassion. The teen years are all about letting go of control and allowing your child to become their own person. Their behavior is a normal part of growing up, not a reflection of your parenting or your relationship. Which brings us to number 3. Number 3, stop making it about you. Stop taking it personally. They aren't talking to you that way because they don't love you, or because you haven't raised them right, or because you don't have a good relationship. Teens have a lot going on in their bodies. Lots of hormones, lots of brain development. It has nothing to do with you as a person or as a mom. If you want a great relationship with your teen, you must learn how to stop making what they do and say about you. And the way to do that is to create an amazing relationship with yourself. And that, my friend, will uplevel every area of your life. If you want help with this, my Live Free Love Life membership is a no-brainer. We work on this all of the time. Tip number 4, grieve the loss of your sweet babies. Part of what makes raising teens so hard is what we've lost. Our kids used to adore us. They used to want to spend time with us. They used to show affection. They used to be so sweet. They used to need us. You have lost something real. Your child is still here, but you have lost the child they were. And rightly so. This is part of growing up. It is how it is supposed to go. But if you want to have a great relationship with who they are now, you must grieve what you've lost. It is okay to be sad about it. Let yourself feel the feelings. The only way out is through, right through the middle of all those feelings. So feel it deeply and thoroughly so we can come out on the other side much more capable of enjoying who they are now. Tip number 5, let them fail. One of the biggest reasons we have conflicts with our teens is because we are trying to save them from the negative consequences of the choices they want to make. But right now is the best time for them to learn how to fail. They are still at home, safe and supported. Let them fail. This means we stop micromanaging. We give them more of that independence that they are craving. We stop giving them unsolicited advice. We let them make choices and fail. And then we love and support them through all of it. So let's go over those 5 tips one more time. Tip number 1, zip it. Just keep your mouth shut. Do a lot more listening than you do talking. Number 2, repeat. This is developmentally appropriate on the regular. If this is really hard for your brain to believe, go read some books about adolescent brain development so that you can understand that truly their behavior, the behavior you're watching that your brain has such a problem with, is developmentally appropriate, because it is. So if you need to go read some books so that you can believe that, please do so. Tip number 3, stop making it about you. We've just got to stop taking the things that they say and do personally. It's not about you. Tip number 4, grieve the loss of your sweet babies. Let yourself feel sad. Really go through the grief process. And number 5, let them fail. Stop trying to save them from the negative consequences of their choices. Okay. While parenting a teen has its challenges, there are many rewards, like watching your child develop opinions, values, and interests, seeing glimpses of the amazing adult your teen is becoming, having intellectual conversations about important topics, sharing new experiences as your teen explores activities, spending time together doing things your teen enjoys. We want to work on our relationship so that we can have these things. Making time to connect is critical, especially as your teen pulls away to establish independence. So look for everyday opportunities like making your teen's favorite meal and eating together without your devices, doing quick activities like taking a walk or baking cookies, attending their concerts, games, or events, even if you have to drag them at first, having mom-teen dates like getting ice cream or pedicures, letting them pick the radio station in the car and then singing along and having fun with them. The teen years are a balancing act between supporting their autonomy and maintaining family bonds. With empathy, flexibility, and communication, you can navigate this transition in your relationship and build a strong foundation for the future. The disputes will pass, but the love between a parent and child remains. So, here are some questions to consider. Number 1, what is your current balancing of talking to listening, and how might you shift it more towards listening? Number 2, where are you making your teen's behavior about you, and why? What else could this behavior mean? Number 3, why are you trying to control specific behaviors? What is the worst that could happen if you let go? If you follow this map, I promise your relationship with your teen will get better and you will be able to break free from their behavior. I am following these same 5 tips every day. There are still days when I make their behavior mean something about me, and that just shows me something else that needs to be healed within myself. So I just use that for my own growth. My teens are here acting as mirrors so that when I feel triggered, when I make something about me, it just shows me where my own personal work is, where to work on my relationship with myself. And I still have to consciously keep my mouth shut when I want to say something. The more I follow the map, the better relationship we have, and the more freedom I have. Freedom to enjoy my kids, freedom to enjoy being their mom, being a mom of teenagers, freedom from anger, frustration, hurt feelings, and worry, freedom to enjoy my life regardless of my kids' behavior or choices. And that is what I want for you. Go follow the map. Let me know how it goes. Live free, love life. Thank you for watching this episode of Live Free, Love Life. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, comment, and share. See you next time.